Thank you for watching the Hexspot channel, where you get to-the-point music making tutorials and original music uploaded every Monday. If you haven't, click subscribe and the bell icon for notifications. You might know him as the parallel processing guy, or the Metallica guy, or the guy who takes style cues from Andrew Weil but mastering advice from nobody. Even though he claims to have won the loudness war, he likes dynamics in his music. He's even mixed some of the songs for Adele's 21. In this video, I'm going to take a look at the man, the gear, and the techniques that have made him famous. This man wears many hats. He produces, mixes, and records, which for us new guys might seem like common practice. But I think having this diverse skill set makes him who he is. He started off as a synclavier tech, and that got him into different sessions, high-profile sessions, such as those by Michael Jackson and other big names at the time. And that's how he's credited as getting his start. You can apply this same technique by involving yourself in as many aspects of music creation as you can. That might help you fill in your gaps or lead you to your truer calling. Andrew Scheps is a very flexible guy. He almost never stays with his first version of a mix. In fact, he'll bring up the faders up to 5-6 times in order to get a balance that he's happy with. Only then does he start to lock in his automation. He's also not afraid to do very little processing. You can apply this to your own mixes by not sticking with whatever you get up first and to try something new that'll fit the song. Unlike you, he's got a lot of different gear. He's got a wall of 1176s, DBX 160s, an Eventide H3000, but he only primarily uses that for recording now. In his mix template, he still uses a lot of variety. For instance, he doesn't like using the same EQ twice. You can apply this to your own life by experimenting with the subtle differences between EQs and compressors to help you find your own sound. While Andrew Scheps might like dynamics, he also likes his music loud. One of the ways that he squeezes more life out of a sound is by adding parallel distortion. With the rise of loudness normalization technologies, limiting the crap out of all of your tracks is not going to be the way forward. A cool way to get sounds working together is to set up a parallel distortion bus and send multiple instruments to it. Andrew Scheps is known for using an Aphex Aural Exciter, a vintage model, although now he uses the Waves version, but I have liked using La Petite Excite by Fine Cut Bodies, as well as Fab Filter Saturn in series with an L1 at the end. Compared to other mixers, Andrew Scheps uses parallel processing almost exclusively. He started using the rear bus on a Neve console, and he continues that trend in the box by grouping functionally similar instruments together, such as kick and snare, or music instruments, or having instruments that are supposed to interact, like vocals and music, all enter into a parallel compression chain so he can minimize how much automation he does. Whereas Michael Brower uses fewer chains with more processing on each, Andrew is known for using more individual chains with maybe just 1 or 2 processors on each chain. Experiment for yourself with this technique to see how sending your sounds to parallel chains affects your mix. One of Andrew Scheps' quirks is that he doesn't like a ton of reverb. When he was working on 99 Problems, he was working with Rick Rubin, and they developed an aesthetic for very dry mixes. In fact, I think he was primarily using a spring reverb at the time. He says he really likes other mixes that have a lot of lush reverbs, but for him, he's always able to hear those reverb tails. So right now, he's using a soft tube spring reverb, but he also likes slap delays. So if you want to apply this type of dry ambience to your mixes, then try a slap at about 110 milliseconds or Waves TrueVerb to get something that blends in really well. For a guy with deep roots in the industry, his workflow is ultra modern. Taking cues from Chad Blake, he's moved entirely into the box. In a recent interview with the great Fab DuPont, he's confirmed that it's not the gear that matters, although it's nice to have. So next time you're making a complaint about not having the greatest gear, let Andrew Scheps give you an excuse to use what you have. Speaking of failing, having a hard time finding videos on YouTube to get you back to making music as quickly as possible, you have found the right channel, my friend. I'm here to give you music making tutorials that will get to the point and get you back on track. I make tutorials on music theory, studio techniques, synth stuff, and songwriting. I also make music myself and I upload on Mondays. I have a Patreon that will give you additional downloadable resources as well as early access to content. Big donors can get private lessons with me as well as hand-engraved sheet music. If you sign up for the Hexidose newsletter, I'll send you free music every month as well as letting you know when I'm releasing new content. So thanks for watching. Click subscribe, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.